age has its own challenges. And of course, teenagers leads all of them. Perhaps it has so many complications, but at the same time, it is an age of adventure. And to discuss all of these issues, we have with us on the show Athar Joshi. He is ex-Mount Carmelite and presently he is pursuing his English honors from IIT Chennai. So to throw light on these issues, I would first like to ask Athar, what does he think about certain challenges that teenagers face, especially with regards to their academics? Sometimes they are stressed, and sometimes they feel that they are compared. So, to elaborate a little more, I would just precisely like to tell it. Sometimes parents, or even friends, or teachers, or whoever they come in contact, they sometimes unintentionally situations happen that they feel that they are compared. So, what is the impact of such situations when they feel compared and they feel that they are not as good as their friends or their siblings maybe? What is the impact, and what do you think how it should be handled?
Yeah, it's indeed a very, very important question, and I guess it is indispensable in today's world to address situations like this happening. Comparison is something that has crept in academic sphere of a student life, and it has been since time immemorial. I think the trajectory of corporate is somewhat has shifted to the academic sphere because it has more or less turned towards a rat race. So every single individual, though have a unique characteristic, is made to pass the test that is same for all. So because of that monotonous test that lurks beneath the education system, I think that is why this comparison happens. I think it's the basic tendency of human nature to strive for the best, and when there is certain set definition of what the best is, everyone aspires to imbibe and inculcate in oneself the qualities that would lead him to that notion of being the best. But the comparison over here hampers the trajectory. It fills with lot of hindrances, and that's why the child many a times feels dejected, feels ostracized, and also sometimes undergoes a lot of tension and stress, because of which he's not able to perform. So the underperformance is somewhat a result of the comparison that is happening. I think it did happen with a lot of my friends when I was in school, and it still happens with a lot of my batchmates in IITs. So, because whether it is a school or whether it is an institution like IIT, everyone is striving to excel, and not everyone can excel is also the truth, but everyone will be successful, that is also the truth. So let us not define success by the standard of one person. Every single individual has a unique property and unique tendencies. It will come out, if not now, then in future. But the comparison will act as a negative motivation for the student to work in certain way, which will lead them towards failure, if not success.
I think sometimes parents, or maybe to whoever they are associated with, I think there should be some kind of an acceptance.
Exactly.
Accepting to what qualities they have. Once you start acknowledging them and accepting them, I think this is the best way to handle their teenage. Sometimes they have some kind of doubts, or sometimes they don't feel confident or trust enough
Indeed.
to whom they are talking to.
Indeed.
So sometimes even parents, they don't feel friendly, or they're not confident enough. Like if they have done some mistake, or they can rely on, okay, if I go to the parents, because parents have a very, very high expectations, right? So because this is being with children for over so many years, this is what I've learned. At times, parents are very, very high. They've raised their bars, and by each passing year, they're raising their bars as compared to their expectations. Now they want their children either to be the doctors or the engineers or the CAs or something or the other. So anything other than this always, brings a lot of
Skepticism.
especially it brings a lot of gap in their communication and trust. So I believe that this can only be filled if you have a lot of acceptance. When you can make the child believe, okay, whatever you do, if you can come and share with me, I will accept it. I will help you out come out of this problem. I think that's the best way to handle it.
Indeed. But rather, having an acceptance is indeed a solution for helping this comparison problem. But more so, having awareness of the exposures that different domains has to offer is something which can aid in developing the quality of acceptance among peers. So, as you rightly mentioned, that acceptance is one of the very, very important solution to solve the comparison problem. But to build acceptance, I think you have to make yourself aware about the lot of opportunities that are out there for your board, which will help him or her to excel in the upcoming future. So it's not just, as ma'am rightly mentioned, it's not just the specific domains of medical or engineer or in the commerce field CA or the other well-known fields, but rather there are other domains of sports, other domains of cultural spheres, other domains of humanities which are yet to be explored, which have a lot of scope and potential. So I think it is very, very imperative to have a clear-cut awareness of the chances of the exploration potential that particular domain has, and then acceptance of you can succeed in that is somewhat which is very, very imperative. Indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think because of these gadgets, they are more addicted towards gadgets. Now they've started trusting that their peers, their friends on the social networking sites, they trust them more than even their parents. So I think somewhere the generation X and the Z, I think generation Gen X and Gen Z, they need to come together and they need to sit down, especially because I'm talking about the parents because they belong to generation X, right? And then Z. So I think they need to sit down with their children, communicate and understand what they expect. Because even though we belong to some, say 20 or 30 years back, but we have been through the same phase. So I think parents are the best people whom children can rely, and the second best can be their teachers, they can be their counselors. I think they should immediately seek their help, and instead of relying on their social networking sites friends, because I think they will be sometimes children don't even know whom they are interacting with.
Sure.
So I think this is what they should understand. And secondly, even parents and teachers and everyone should empathize with their situation. It is not because they are doing it and they have some kind of a fancy, just because they are undergoing some changes, hormonal changes. And this becomes a very crucial time of their life when they go through a lot of ups and downs. They are learning, they are exploring, they are full of energy, they want to test everything. And this is not the case with the parents. They've already experienced a lot. They know what happens. So they're not very keen as much as they are. So of course there should be some kind of a balanced approach between the parents and the children, so that the things may be a little more safe and be in safe hands. And a part of this addiction and this comparison, sometimes I even come across situations where children are really upset because they are compared with the parents themselves. Like they say, if I were in your place, if I had got this opportunity, I would have done this, or I used to do this. I think even this should be curtailed, don't you?
I think this particular problem can be studied under two parallels. One, when we realize that our parents have undergone the same scenarios when they were young, when they were teenagers, and secondly, the time difference between both the generations. So whether we talk about millennials, whether we talk about generation X or Y or Z, I think every generation has suffered a monumental shift in the paradigm of technology,
Absolutely, I agree.
academic, as well as the mental and social spheres that has prevailed. While I agree to the fact that the parents are the right people to talk to, but there is also one very very important key aspect to that, that parents should also realize that the times have changed. So the entire comparison of their lifestyle during their good old times and our lifestyle during our school times cannot be compared with the same beam on the same beam, because when they were young, there were no technological infusion in the academic sphere. But these are the times, difficult times, crucial times, but yet very, very indispensable moments where technology has crept in the education system, not just in education system, but rather in every sphere of human life, especially a child's life. So comparing themselves, I mean comparing a parent to their ward would be a futile act, because you cannot have the similar conditions at both the ends. While a student should resort to the parent to seek solutions to the problem he or she is going, the parent must also create a conducive environment for that. The problems are different, if not totally changed, but there are slight different in the issues that children face these days. I guess parents have to understand that, and they need to build up a cohesive parenting environment in their house, so that the children feel comfortable enough to open up with what they are feeling at school or inside their peer groups. Many of times I have felt that uh, because of the situations prevailing at their time, which are totally different from now, they think that there are no issues of mental stress, there is no issue of mental depression, there is no issues that involves the technological infusion. But I think over here we have to understand that the mobile phone, this cuboidal structure, has both the powers either to make you or to break you. This is something that is the greatest invention, one of the greatest invention, and one of the destructive inventions as well. It completely depends upon how we use it. Most of the times, the youth is using it in a destructive way.
Sometimes we can also compare the situation as when bulb was invented.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of a change it brought to the world?
Exactly.
This can be related to
Exactly.
this.
I think
And also, I believe that children nowadays are more, pragmatic in their approach. They want reason.
true.
Whatever, if you suppose if I want my child to do something, I think they'll definitely comply to what you say only if you reason out with them properly. Once they are understanding the situation, I think they will not have any issues with what you're trying to convey to them. I think parents should not fail in imparting values. And values, basically, of course, schools are definitely the institution which they are doing that. But it also, depends on the family, how well they can, impart values. It comes from their homes, from their families. So that is what they carry to the school, and then they develop in what values they have learned from there. So I think reason, then values, then empathy, learning to be kind. I think these are some important stuff that we should keep in mind when we are raising a child.
In fact, for the students also, I would like to add to the point when you said imbibing values. It's not that what your parents ask you to do, what your school asks you to do, or what your teachers ask you to do has no reason behind it. You have right to know the reason, but if you ask reason only to rebel, only to question it and not follow it, that mindset will make you very very superficial. It's good to question ideologies, it's good to question rituals, it's good to question a particular belief, but you need to be entrenched with your own belief system very, very strongly. Only then you can critically analyze it. It's something which is lacking in us. Most of us have resorted to various other ideologies that are taking us apart from what our family has been following for since time immemorial. I think if you don't want to be superficial in your approach, if you want to have a very strong hold on with the opinions, it's very, very important to follow your traditions and then critically analyze it instead of just looking at it superficially and then questioning it. Mere questioning it will make you a very superficial person. So for the people of my age group, to all my friends, it's something which is very, very deeply associated with me. I ask you and I request you to follow your traditions, your cultures with the same pride and glory instead of questioning it and neglecting it, because that would make you totally a superficial person.
Asad, I would just want you to tell me something, how your experience in the school has made you what you are today. Can you just throw light on those?
Well, indeed, I mean, it was a remarkable experience the past 14 years, and I think as a student I have left the school, but from me the school has not yet left. So, so I might find myself in the school most of the times. The corridors, the wings. I've seen the school growing. When I joined, it was just one wing, this wing, and now we are seeing there are 3 floors with new building, new primary wing. So this is something that I have seen in front of my eyes for the past 14 years. A lot of things have changed for a good. A lot of things are turned to be very pragmatic. And I'm very, very fortunate enough to have been associated with Mount Carmel School as my alma mater. Because indeed, whatever I am today, there is no doubt that I can give entire credit to the education system of Mount Carmel School, my management and my teachers, very, very especially my teachers who have been there supporting me all throughout my journey. Indeed, I mean, the school has offered a lot of opportunities, not just to me, but to many people. It was up to them to take it. I took it. My teachers helped me to take it. And then it became a remarkable journey. And all I have in my heart is all the good memories of participating in co-curricular activities, from taking part in academic spheres, from oratory events, from music events, theatre events, to representing school in various sports and various academic conferences. So it has been a remarkable journey, and I still wish to continue it, and I will continue it. I don't know how.
Can you just tell us which value you still keep in your heart, the value which you took away from the school?
There's a plethora of spectrum which I can count on, but one of the most important value which I have learned is to have perseverance, is to have patience, and it's to be dedicated to the goal. Your morality is something which is very subjective to you. My morality is developed by the school. So whatever I am today, the way my character is, the way my personality is, the way I carry myself is only because of my moral upbringing that has been so beautifully draped by the school culture. So I think the perseverance that I have got due to my moral upbringing, the patience, the acceptability, as you said, and more so over the dynamism that I have adopted is only because of the school. The acceptance of various cultures coming together, the confluence of culture as we call it, meeting of the minds. There has been communication. There is communication in every part of the world, but I think there is no comprehension. So the school has taught me that communication is the key, but comprehension is the door. So you need communication to open the door of comprehension. But comprehension is the door. So it is something very, very important. So this is what the school has given me, and this is what I'm carrying forward.
Thank you. It's great to be, speaking to you.
Pleasure is all mine.
I hope that this journey continues.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.